Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Misfit's Room, the podcast, the podcast that comes to you every Wednesday. That's the schedule that I made up for myself. So I'm hoping that every Wednesday I upload. I've been pretty good. Uploaded my last episode on Wednesday. Went off with no problems, and I'm also recording this ahead right now so that when Wednesday comes around, I'm prepared and it's ready to go. And yeah, where should I even start? I guess I should start by saying that thank you for the people who are listening on Apple Podcasts. Really appreciate it. I didn't think people would listen, but they are listening. So that's exciting. I haven't checked Google Play or what else is it? Spotify. I haven't checked those yet, but appreciate the Apple listens. YouTube is a little weird medium for me because it's like people go there to like watch videos. I mean, certain podcasts I watch on YouTube because I don't know, I just like the visual aspect of it. But nobody really knows me to be like looking for my podcast on YouTube. I'm still gonna do the video version just because I prefer to have a video version. Like, I prefer to have the option. So I'm just gonna leave the option out there, but it's not like my best performing platform, which is totally okay. And I've had to come to terms with that, came to terms with it, and now I'm fine. But yeah, this is episode 3. Crazy. I don't know, this is like one of the first couple things that I've been like consistent with, and it's making me a little nervous. I don't want to fall off the rails, I guess is the saying. But it's going pretty good, pretty well. I'm excited. I did jot down a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today, but now I'm like nervous because I had some. Okay, I need to slow down with my talking because then I start to stutter, and I don't normally, I don't normally stutter like this. So I had written down a couple points to talk today. Oh my god, I had written down a couple of points to talk about today, but I'm a little nervous because I touched on this subject a little bit on the last episode, and I had made a promise to myself, and then I kind of broke it. And then I did some pretty unexplainable, unapologizable, I don't think that's the word, but like, I regret an action that I did. But I'm here to talk about it because you know what? This is my podcast. And the reason that I made this podcast is to talk about what's going on in my life and my feelings. And it's going to be my safe space. That's why I call it Misfit's Room, because it's my room. This shirt. Let me tell you about the drama, about the wardrobe today before I started recording. So I had this like halter top on. And then like the way that my hair is positioned, it like covered the straps. So I'm looking at myself and I'm like, okay, face is looking good. And then I'm looking at my body. I was like, wait a minute. Why do I look naked? I'm not naked. And then like the cut of like the neckline is so low where it's just like I don't look like I'm wearing a shirt, and I let alone don't even have any boobs, so it's just like I look like I'm naked. So I try to like move my hair out the way and put it in the back and show like the straps, but then I'm just like now I look like I have no boobs, and I know that's not the whole point of the podcast, but like now I have no boobs, so I had to put on another shirt. Don't look naked, but I still look flat chested. But you know what? You gotta pick and choose your battles, and I picked my battle, and that's not looking naked, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so anyways, there's a hair on my mic. I'll just take care of that. So I'm just so procrastinating this topic right now because it means that I have to admit it to myself that I was being ridiculous. But here we go. Okay, so on the last episode, I had talked about not rekindling, but like, how do I say it? Like, I went and spoke to an ex, like, just trying to like repair the friendship, not repair it necessarily, but just like apologize for my actions because he had came back into my life after we had broken up and was like trying to like get a second chance, but I kind of like knocked it down and said, no, if you didn't appreciate me then, you'll never appreciate me now, and yada yada yada. And to be fair, I wasn't being fair to him and actually listening to his points. I just kind of just brushed it off and like didn't care. But he's also a human being, and he also had things that he was going through during our relationship that I felt like I should have apologized for not receiving his words better. But anyways, I did apologize to him. We did, it was fine after that. He unblocked me, and then he had followed me, and I followed him back, and then we kind of just left it at that. And then every now and then we would like catch up, like, hey, how are you? How's your dog? Because he knew like he met my dog, and he's like, how like just like general catching up stuff. So then a couple days go by, okay, and then this is what I've been dying to get to. So a couple days go by, and this this dude is like in the music industry, and it's a different vibe than I am, but and I just really didn't want to promote his stuff because I know a work friend that knows that I used to talk to him and how that ended, and I just did not want to bring it up and have that whole spiel and talk with her, like, because it meant nothing. I just wanted to apologize and move on from that, but I don't want to be there like sitting there re-promoting his stuff because he dropped like an album, then he sent it to me, and then I liked it, and I was like, oh, I'm proud of you, I know you've been working on this for a long time, even like when we met or whatever, it was still like in the works, and I'm proud, like, you made something, like, it was good. So he sent it to me, and I'm like, okay, liked it. And then a couple days after that, you know how artists tend to like promote their just like their albums and their music videos and stuff like that, they just do like different forms of promotion. And he had this promotion where it was like a video of like the listening party that he had at like this like clubhouse thing that his friend owns. And okay, this is really petty of me. So in the video, it shows him just like hanging around with his boys and everything, and then for a split second it pans to him and this girl, and I'm like, huh, what a nice friend, right? And then the audio cuts, like the music cuts, and it's just them talking like, oh hey, it's such and such, and he's like, yeah, she really surprised me today, and he had like this big old grin and smile, and I'm like, wait a minute, I remember when you used to like smile at me in that way because you were very happy that I was there. That's not no friend. That's a friend, if you know what I mean. So I was just like, who is this girl? Mind you, I do not want anything, and I mean anything to do with this person. Yet, like, my blood started to boil. I was like, how dare you? Like, who? And mind you, it's been months, and I mean months of like being broken up and not talking to each other. And like, I literally said like, nah, move on because I'm not interested. For me to be like, excuse me? I'm so ridiculously. I was jelly for no reason. I don't know why. So I'm like, oh, who is this person? Who is this person that showed up to your listening party? So I did what psycho girls do, and I go and I follow her. Not follow her. I just go scrolling through his followers to see, and I type in her name, and I'm like, would you look at that? She's right here. And then I'm like trying to figure it out, like to see if it's actually her. And I'm scrolling, and then I see little comments of him putting like heart eyes and like the drooly mouth, and I'm like, oh, so it is like that. Wow, good to know. Mind you, like I said, I want nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing. I mean like negative nothing with this guy, and I got butthurt for no reason. And I'm just like, wow, it's good to see that other people. That's my thing though. It's like I feel like I can't. I don't even know what's conceited is not the word, but like the fact that I feel like other people can be happy without me, like that bothers me. That bothers me. Like, oh, you can be happy without me. Bothers me to my core, and it shouldn't. That's so like, I don't know if it's conceited of me. I don't know if that's the word that I'm looking for, but it looks very bad on me, and I'm like, I'm not a big whoop, whatever. But I got real butthurt, and I was like, oh, so you're gonna be happy without me? All right, cool. So you know what I did? It makes me laugh just thinking about it. I went and I unfollowed him. I didn't block him. I didn't say anything, and I was just like, you know what? I'd prefer to not see this because this is messing with my psyche, with my mental, and it shouldn't. Like, I don't even like him like that anymore. He's like a friend to me, and like if that day were to ever come, I don't think I'd ever, and I mean never, let that happen again. But I was just like butthurt, like, you think you can be happy with someone else that's not me? You're funny. So I unfollowed him like a psycho, bitch, you know. And that's where we're at with that. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it because lately I've been listening to this podcast. I'm sure everybody knows. Well, not everybody, but most females, called Pretty Basic by the hosts are Remy Ashton and Alicia Marie. I love those people. I watch their videos all the time. I listen to their podcasts all the time, and like lately listening to them is making me really more comfortable talking about my feelings, because when I first started this, I was like, no, I'm going to do this for me. This podcast is just going to be for me to talk about my feelings and whatever. But then whenever I listen back after I'm done with it and I post it, I was like, I could have been a little more open than I already was. I feel like I was holding back, and like it's the normal amount that I would hold back in a regular conversation. So this is like, what are you really doing? Why did you really start a podcast if you're just not going to talk about your feelings? So I was just like, fine, F it. So I was not gonna bring that story up because I swore off in my last, podcast, that I was just gonna like repair, amend, move on, and apparently I can do that. Speaking of that, another thing that I just want to like die laughing right now. Another thing that I did mention on that on the last episode was that I was just not gonna date anymore. Or like, I don't know exactly what I said, but I was just like, you know what? I'm looking for my own happiness. I'm gonna do me and yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. The same cliche things that girls say whenever they're like done with, like after a breakup. Like when like a month after they're done and they broke up and they're just like feeling themselves, whatever. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do me. I'm not gonna date nobody. I'm gonna just whatever. I'm just gonna kick it. Me, myself, and I for however long it takes. And then I did the unthinkable. I re-downloaded Hinge. And that's the app that I met this ex that I just talked about. That's where I met him on, which is funny. But I re-downloaded it mostly because all my life, to be honest, I've always had like a person, like a second person with me. When I first like moved out and had my own place, I always had like a second person that I either dated or was like really close with. I always had like a second person. I never really had like a time where it was just like me by myself, just going through life by myself. It was always with me and some other person. Like we were always like on the same boat. It was never just me alone, which is weird. So like after that last episode, I was just like, you know what? I really want some like weird, not harsh, but just like uncomfortable me time, alone time, and just like be able to live through that and like do that. Because if I can't do that, I can't expect to be fully me with someone else. So that was my mindset when I had first said that. And then it's just like I had to rethink all of that, really, because after that, the next day, I kind of just got really lonely for some reason. But it's like, here's the thing. I have a problem. I really do have a problem. I think that's just the Scorpio in me. But like, I'll date somebody and I'll be really into that person. And then once they start to get comfortable, I start to like reel in and like remember who I am and like make time for the things that I like or that I used to like, and then I stopped doing to make time for this person. But now it's just like, all right, I made my time. I made this friendship. I made this relationship. It's strong. I'm gonna go try and do me for a couple days, and then it's just like that's not how it works, because there'd be days where just like I don't want to text none of my boyfriends, like I don't want to text none of y'all. I just want to like work on a video or like work on something productive that I've been like pushing to the back burner because I was busy attending to you. So there'd be times where I just don't answer my phone. It'd be like an entire day where I just don't talk to anybody. And I'm fine. So I know that I can be alone and that's not a problem. But like, I guess I like having the fact that there's always someone there as a cushion if I do need somebody. And I think that's the problem. Now that I'm talking about it and working through it in my mind, I think I figured out the problem. That's so sad. Oh my god, oh my god. I can't believe I'm talking about this. It's just weird. So yeah, I downloaded the app again because I was just like, you know what? In all honesty, when I did download it, I was feeling a little lonely. And then when I was going through the motions of like updating my profile and everything, I was just like, you know what? At this point, you've always been seeking and seeking and seeking. Why don't you just let them come to you? At this point, just let them come to you. Because I've been, there's this quote that I've been hearing lately a lot, and I think it's like the world trying to tell me something. It's like, if a guy wanted to, he would. So she's like, if a guy really wants to talk to me and really likes me, it's because he wants to. So I'm trying to like let it get to a point where it's just like, I'm not even gonna like, I don't even, for the first day, I did like try to like, like and dislike, just to get used to like the motions and like trying to figure out what the new type of guy that I'm into now. And I started doing that, and then I just got really annoyed. I was like, why am I looking and choosing? Like, I'm sick of like looking, you know what I mean? Someone will come to me. I'm tired of making that effort, and that effort is never reciprocated. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna look. I'm not even gonna say what I'm interested in, like liking or anything else. It's like how Hinge works. It's just like it's like a Tinder. Like you can swipe, not swipe, but like you can X if you don't like them, and then a heart and match with them. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just not gonna match anybody. I'm not gonna send anybody hearts. It's fine, but I'll wait for them to send me hearts. So then from that, I was just like, okay, these are the people willing to talk to me. These are the people who like me. I can read their bio and go into, just try to figure out their personality. And if I feel like it's some sort of vibe and I'm attracted to it, I'll like it. And then we'll start a conversation. But I'm not putting like too much pressure on anything right now. Like, literally, like, there's no pressure. Honestly, there's even an option where if it's just like you really don't feel like talking to that person anymore, you can literally like swipe it, click on the little like three hole whatever setting option thing, and you can literally say, I don't want to talk to this person, and they'll ask you why. You can do like no reason or just not interested, spam, block, blah 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 blah, whatever. So it's not so harsh. So that's what I'm doing. And the good thing about this app is that it's like a better version of Bumble. I don't know if you know what Bumble is, but it's just like, first of all, I hate Bumble. You want to know why I hate Bumble? Because how society has made the world. It's like, it's very awkward for women to make the first move. And that's all that Bumble is. The woman has to make the first move. So she's like, I don't think you know how. Just like, I don't know. Like, I can't make a first move. Like, I'm the type of person that I can't do that. That's just not me. That's not in my nature. That's not like my personality type. But there's a guy personality type that does do that. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just, I'm not for that app. I had it for a while and I tried it. Didn't really help with my confidence or anything, but I don't like the app where the girl has to message first, because that's just, times are changing, yeah, whatever. I don't want to say like it's a man thing, but it's just like it's really weird for me, and I just prefer not to do it that way. So yeah, and then Bumble just started turning into the Tinder of dating apps, at least in my area, and the people that were joining Bumble. It's just like, nah, you should have just no. So then when I first heard about Hinge, and that was like last year, it's like, I like because it has like, you have to put like answers to a question, or I mean like you're given the option, but most of it is like you have to like, there's like a whole bunch of questions and you can answer them to like put your personality on your like page. So when a person is looking at you, you get your primary photo, then you get your like your age, your where you live, and yada yada yada, and then under that you have like a question that you answer. Like me, as a person who has a profile, it'll ask me like, what's my ideal date, and then I'll put what my ideal date is. So the person that's looking at my page would be like, oh, I vibe with that, so I'm gonna message her. That's what I love about the app, because some people think they're slick and they don't put anything, or they'll just put like, oh, follow me on my Snapchat. I'm just like, don't turn this into Bumble, please, because Bumble already turned into Tinder. I don't like Tinder. So It's been a couple like that, but I've been able to like weed them out. And the good thing about it is that the app doesn't really, tell you if you didn't match or anything. And there's also a cool feature where you can give a certain person, if you really like them, like a rose, and it's like better than a heart. I've only given one rose to one person, just to like, I'm okay. I'm just gonna admit that the guy was like really hot, and I was just like, it'll never work out, but for funsies, let's just see what happens. And I did it. We started talking. Didn't really go anywhere, but I'm proud of like being like, hey, I kind of like you. Not that I'm very like forward or anything, and I would make the first move, but I was just like, okay, and I did it. I shouldn't have cursed. I'm gonna have to block that out. Every time I reset my mic and my camera, I lose my train of thought. I need to like, I think I'm gonna have to get shorter nails because I keep clicking and tapping and I can't. It's messing with my psyche because after this, when I'm done recording, I go in and I edit everything and I hear every little noise and every little tick and chair squeak and all my mouth noises that just sound really weird. I don't know why my mouth makes all these weird wet noises. I don't know. I don't really know. Anyways, so what was I talking about? Hinge. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, I ended up giving the guy a rose. Didn't really work out, but I was proud of myself. But I have been talking to people here and there. I'm not opposed to dates. At this point, I was just like, you know what? Just because I go on this date doesn't mean that I'm gonna be with this person forever. Like sometimes, like before, when I like just like before, I would just go into dates and being like, is this gonna be the one? And is this gonna be like a magical moment? And yada yada yada. And at this point, I just had to like sit down and like have a talk with myself. Even like Remy in the podcast Pretty Basic, she like talked about it and she was just like, you know what, if you just go in saying, you know what, I'm not expecting anything out of this, but it'll be a good time, like, I'll get out of my house and I'll do something and I don't have to put so much pressure on it so that it's not so awkward and it's not like I'm expecting something, so that at the end of the day I'm not being let down. So I'm just gonna go into, I think I have one tomorrow that's just gonna be like dinner, and that's pretty much it. And then I have one on Sunday, which is gonna be like mini golfing, just because I honestly, for the most part, I just want to get out of my house. Whether it goes good or bad or anything, I really don't care. I just want to get out of my house and I want to experience just people in general, and I have to like make friends in general. I'm very bad at making friends with girls. I don't know why. I only have one friend that's a girl. That's my coworker, and she just so happens to be a girl, so that's how we're friends. But like, I don't know. I can't just go out and make friends with a girl. It's just, I don't know. I really wish I knew. You know what? I think I know why. I think it stems from my traumatic school experiences. I might talk about that in one of these podcasts, but I don't want to cry right now. But like maybe in the future. That's like a sensitive topic. My whole high school, middle school experience was absolute trash. Even elementary school, now I'm thinking about it. My whole school experience was literally trash. I should probably talk about that and go in depth because it touches a little bit with like bullying and just anyways, but like it's so hard for me to make friends with girls and I don't know why that is. I wish I knew. Something I gotta work on. I mean, like, I know I can't. I can because I'm very nice. I'm not, I know I have RBF, resting B face, but like, I'm very nice when you like start to meet me or like, get to know me. And I don't know, it's just gonna take some time because I really don't have the trust for a female friend or the patience. Oh, excuse me. I just have like, I don't know what it is, but I have the worst patience lately with girls because some of them, not all of them, all right, to be the devil's advocate, some of them, but not all of them, have like, they're still in like the young mentality of like drama and stuff, and like I'm so far removed from that I don't care, and I couldn't care less. I did have a group of friends in high school, but I had removed myself from that group. Like I wasn't pushed away. They called me and texted me like, hey, what's wrong? And I literally like removed myself from the situation because I just felt like that friendship was just not gonna grow with the person that I was becoming. So I just kind of just like dipped, and we would see each other here and there like at school, but I was just like not make eye contact. I wouldn't talk to them. I don't know, there's things about female drama that I makes my skin crawl, and then I don't have the patience for it. I'm very like matter of fact, and like if it's not this, it's that. So like, what are we doing? So I'm so far removed from the drama. You don't even know. I don't have the patience for it. And some girls, not all the girls, but some girls lately, that's all that matters to them. Or it's like boyfriend drama, or it's just like, I don't know. It's all superficial. It's not real. I don't know how to explain it, but right now I'm okay with just being friends with having a couple guy friends. And if the girlfriends, they have to just like naturally form. You know what I mean? Because guy friends, they form in a way of like, okay, we went out on a date, didn't really work out, but I like your vibe and you're cool. And like, that's how that starts, at least for me, and it's comfortable. But trying to do that with a girl, I think I met one girl on the Bumble app, because Bumble has this option where you can meet people either for dating or meet people for friendships or business. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to be outgoing, because why not? This is a new me. This was like probably like a year and a half ago. I'm like, this is going to be the new me. I'm going to try something different. And I went on Bumble and I went to the friend side of it. And I was like, I'm going to try a friend. I actually met 2 people off that app, actually. So the first person that I met off the app, her name's, I think it was Tiara. I don't remember her name. She was really pretty, really nice. We went to Five Below. Like, it was really fun. We went to Five Below. We hit it off. It was great. But then we somehow ended up we went to Five Below. I think we went to Hobby Lobby too. Then we went to Target, I think, at some point. Anyway, so when we were at Target, I guess we had went to a Target where she knew a friend. And it's like, it's one thing when it's just like you and the stranger that you're trying to be friends with like are hanging out, but it's another thing when that stranger has a friend that she knows and they're talking to each other and you're just there like, hi, I don't know, it's just certain conversations that I just couldn't jump into the conversation. It was just really weird, because it's just like they already have a friendship that they built, and it's just weird to intrude into that. So that was just really weird. And then the second friend that I met, or second girl, because we're not friends, but like the second person that I ended up meeting off of Bumble, she was really cool and really nice. And then I thought we like bonded, like for real. And then she ended up telling me like, oh, I'm moving to Orlando. I'm just like, so then why did you meet me? It was just like, I thought what we had was special, and it was really cool. I loved hanging out with her. I'd go to her house and we would just chill by her park or whatever. It was really fun. I like really liked her. I was like, oh, we could totally be cool. This is fun. And then she's like, oh, you know what? I might be moving to Orlando. I don't really know. Yada yada yada. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like the first, like, this is why I'm traumatized in making friends with females, because it's like the first person that's like actually like I'm cool with and I don't feel uncomfortable with, you're moving. After that, I just kind of like let it go. I was like, you know what, if a friendship forms naturally with a girl one day, fine, I'll take it. But I don't like seeking it, because then I just feel like it's like, what's wrong with me, you know what I mean? Like you start to like feel self-conscious about yourself and be like, you know, what's wrong with me, what did I do? But it's not really, wasn't really about that, but that's how I felt. So I've had so many traumatic experiences. It's weird. Did I meet anybody else? I'm trying to think if I met anybody else. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the whole Hinge and the whole dating thing that I really had to sit down and not even admit, just like talk about it, because it's like, it's okay to like change your mind, and it's okay to do certain things that you thought you'd never do. It's just like, I shouldn't feel ashamed of anything. It's how I feel. And as always, that I've been trying to tell myself, my feelings are valid. So if I'm feeling lonely and I want to talk to somebody, I can do that. But I should be doing it for the right reasons, not to just fill a hole that is just to make myself feel happy. It shouldn't be filling a hole. It should be making a friendship to then build into something else. I shouldn't be using it as a rebound, or you know what I mean? Like everything should be very intentional. And that's something that I really want to like focus on with myself, is being very intentional with my actions, with my words, with my feelings, with everything. Because if you don't have intent and good intentions in your actions and in your words, it's just like, so what are you doing it for? You know what I mean? Like even with this podcast, it's just like my intentions were to put myself out there, my feelings out there, more so for me, because I need to be able to like open up. My family is very like, we don't talk about our feelings, we don't do, we we keep that stuff in our own brains, in our own hearts or whatever, and we become very strong. We're strong people, and we don't talk about that, and we just kind of just move on and just stay level-headed and just stay strong. And just my family just really doesn't talk about their feelings like that. In a way, I don't really know why. I don't know why. First of all, I hate that I'm like the most emotional out of like everybody in my family. Like one thing will happen and I'll just like cry. I'll just like cry. Like it's so funny. It was like one day I was at my aunt's house and she was doing my hair, and then it just so happened that like my uncle showed up and like a couple family members here and there just showed up, and I'm just like in the kitchen like with her like in the middle. Okay, in the kitchen sounds very like gross because it's in the kitchen, but it's like part of the like the dining room area. But anyways, we were in the dining room area. She was doing my hair, and then at one point, because I'm wearing extensions right now, but at one point my hair is short and I had bangs. So then I made fun of myself, being like, "Oh, I look like Edna Mode" on my own time, like to myself. And then my uncle went and said that, and he's like, laughing as in like not making fun of me, but just like making it a joke, same way I was when I would do it to myself in private. But then he did that, and I was just like, I got so upset. And I was like, "It's not funny." Like I wasn't like, I was just first of all, wasn't in the mood. But then I was just like, "It's not funny." Like when you say it, it's not funny. And then I don't know. After my aunt was just like, don't make fun of her. That's not nice or whatever. She doesn't like. And I was just like, I don't think it's funny. And then there was just like, "Oh, don't worry about it." And I was like, literally trying to fight back the tears. And I was like, yeah, I just don't get it. Like, if it's me saying it, it's me. But it's like when other people are constantly saying it and making fun of you, especially like in this family where like I'm always being made fun of because I'm the oldest or whatever. It's just like, I'm gonna need y'all to step back. So it's just like, I don't know why. I hate that I'm so emotional, but I think also it's a good thing that I am emotional. But for some reason, I don't know how to deal and talk about my emotions. So it's just like, it's a mixture of everything, and it's so bad. It's like I'm so emotional, but then like I don't talk about my feelings. So then it's just like, it's so difficult. It's so hard. But what was my point? Yeah, being intentional. This I got lost. Anyways, so my point was being intentional, and with this podcast, I was just like, what's the reason? Why do you want a podcast? And I was like, because I just want to talk. And then I was just like, okay, well, why do you want to talk? And I was like, one, because I don't have friends. Even if nobody listens to me, I feel like I'm letting out steam, I guess, because I only really talk to people at work, people on the phone that I talk to at work, my sister here and there. I don't really talk. And I feel like that's why sometimes I have like my little like stuttering problems, because I don't really talk often. Because as soon as I get home, I'm like in my room all day and just like trying to film a YouTube video or trying to do this and that. But I'm never really talking and having a conversation, like a mental, verbal, meaningful conversation with somebody. So I was just like, you know what, this is gonna be like my way to escape and like actually talk about my feelings, because it's so hard. But I was just like, yeah. So I was like, okay, so those are your intentions, and those are good intentions. So do that. And then I did that, and listening to the last two episodes, like I said earlier in the podcast, I was just like, I don't feel like it's me. Like I feel like I have more to say, and I'm just not saying it because I'm afraid of what other people think. And then that just goes back to, well, did you make a podcast for other people's opinions, or did you make it for yourself as like, I guess I would say like a diary or something, just to like, just for you? Did you make this for you, or did you make it for somebody else? And I'm just like, no, this is for me, and I could care less what anybody thinks. I could care less if my ex listens to this, if my old friends listen to this. I could care less who listens to it. This is more so for me. So it all boils down to intentions and why you're doing things. You always just gotta ask yourself why. Why are you doing it? And you have to find the real reason, because then if you're doing things like reasonless and unintentional, it's just like, I don't really know. I'm trying to like word it in a way, but it's not coming out right. What else do I want to say? I mean, that's pretty much the gist of this episode. I just kind of want to just like clear the air in my mind, in a sense, to just like get it out of my system and feel okay with not even admitting mistakes, but like it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to like mess up and do something that I said I wouldn't do. Like it's fine. I'm human and I can do whatever I so please to do. It's my life at the end of the day. So I was just like, you know what, if I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna be real. So I talked about it, and here we are. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode and what I wanted to talk about. I promise that like future episodes are gonna have some more sustenance and not just like feelings and like all my just like my emotional stuff. Like I really want to talk about other things, not just relationship stuff, because who wants to listen to that every episode? But I really wanted to get that off my chest because it's been like eating away at me ever since I like unfollowed that dude, and I was just like, oh, I gotta talk about this. I really gotta talk about this. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and also I just like want to say thank you for like bearing with me right now because it's just whoever's listening is just very uncomfortable. Just doing this, it's just I don't know, it's just uncomfortable just talking to myself. I mean, I can do it. It's funny because I can do it in a video, no problem. But like in a podcast where it's just like nothing but like my thoughts and opinions and just me speaking, it's just really weird to like construct. And then also it's just like the audio, you want the audio to be good. So I'm over here click-clacking away with my hands and I keep touching the desk and moving the sticky note and touching the microphone, and it's just not what I would personally want to hear in a podcast. But like I'm trying, I'm doing a little better. But yeah, I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself. And I guess I'll just wrap this up by saying thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Apple Podcast, Spotify, and also Google Play. We are on Google Play now. How to make sure, but we are. So if you listen to Google Play and it makes it easier for you, go ahead and look there. Also follow Misfit's House. Not Misfit's House. Follow Misfit's Room. Misfit's House is like my clothing brand. I get those confused every time. I'm gonna have issues. But don't forget to follow Misfit's Room on Instagram, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you'd like. It's misfit.you. Yeah, here we go again. I don't know how to end the podcast. That's another thing that's gonna stress me out. So I'll see you next week. Bye.